Do you remember the days when being a perfectionist was actually a common answer to that typical interview question, what is your weakness? It was supposed to be a positive weakness, but it really became a cliche. And it's not recommended that you use that answer. Perfectionism, however, is a real challenge for many. And today I want to talk about perfectionistic leaders. There are many leaders who are stuck in a pattern of perfectionism. It might have served them well when they were at the beginning of their career, working really hard, putting in that extra effort to always seeking to deliver the perfect product, actually helped them get ahead. People noticed them, noticed that they were dedicated, they put in long hours with a lot of detail, and there was high quality work. However, now, when they're later in their careers, perhaps they're middle managers or in senior leadership, they notice that what used to be a strength has actually now become a challenge for them. Why? Because they struggle to delegate. They tend to struggle to have time for everything, and they're exhausted. And they don't have enough time to actually be that visionary leader, the motivating leader they are to be, because they are stuck in their perfectionistic expectations of themselves, that only excellence is accepted. And I've seen this among some of my clients. They are exhausted. They're starting to doubt themselves, and they're actually starting to doubt their ability to lead, their ability to perform, and to do great work. So, what can we do if we notice that some of these challenges, and especially the challenge with delegating and trusting others' ability, if you're noticing that you have perhaps those challenges, what can we do? First, the first step is to learn how to identify our perfectionistic tendencies. Let me share a few with you. You have trouble delegating. I already mentioned that one. You can't trust others. You need to do everything yourself. You have extremely high expectations of yourself and of others, and only the best is good enough. Nothing else, nothing less. You notice that you become increasingly anxious when you have a deadline approaching. Perhaps you can't sleep because you're worrying that what you're submitting, what your team is completing by the end of the deadline is not good enough. So there's an anxiety around that. When someone who works for you submits a piece of work or a report to you, you can't help to correct things that were good enough. You didn't have to rewrite it, but you feel that you must because it's not living up to your extremely high expectations. And you find yourself redoing the work of your staff. That's a red sign. That's a red flag. You also perhaps tend to think in extremes. Either things are great or they're really bad. There's really nothing in between. There's no shades of gray. Either things are done well or they're done poorly. So what can we do to overcome our perfectionism and give us an opportunity to actually really thrive? First, take small steps to gradually change the way you feel, think, and behave. All those three are connected. They also feed off each other. So try to shift your mindset. How do you do that? Challenge yourself to actually start accepting quality of work that's perhaps less than perfect. Practice letting go. Perhaps start with smaller projects, smaller things that aren't so important. Which brings us to the next one. Learn to prioritize. And how can prioritize help us with perfectionism? Because when you're prioritizing, you're looking at the importance and the significance of different tasks, responsibilities, projects at work. And choose wisely. Identify those that are so important that you really want to put that extra effort in. And you want to be involved yourself to make sure perhaps that the quality is what the organization or the clients needs. But then the other ones that aren't so important, let go. Let someone else finish them and trust them that they know what they're doing. You will be reviewing their work and providing feedback, providing input, but you're not controlling the process and doing all of the work yourself. And you might need to just take small steps to start to get used to this. How can we do that? Actually, create a system of quality control for yourself. This might sound counterintuitive, but doing that, some kind of a system where you have a checklist, perhaps, a review process, where you've identified different steps in a review of a product. And perhaps it includes feedback from others, feedback from clients, reviewing how things work, whatever the different steps are there. So once you have checked off all those different steps in the process, you can trust that there's a quality project, it's a quality product that you have, and you can let go. You can trust your own judgment, and you can trust the quality of work that your team is producing and that you're all putting together. Finally, the last step, learn to understand perhaps the roots, the origins of your perfectionism. What is it? Why is it that you need everything to be 200% perfect? What is that need for control that you have? Because that's really what's underlying there. There's a certain need of control, and there's also a fear involved. Is there a fear of punishment, a fear of failure? And is it realistic? Challenge your fears, challenge your perfectionism with a reality check, and perhaps have someone help you do that. I hope these few simple steps can help you work with your perfectionism and really help you thrive and excel, but without the burden of perfectionism. Finally, I do need to own up to that I've had my own challenges with perfectionism over the years. You see a painting in the back there that's not finished. I do like to paint in my spare time when I have time. Hadn't had a lot lately, but anyway, you see that it's not complete. It's a seascape, but I haven't painted in the sky. And why is that? Because I'm afraid that when I add the sky and the blues of the sky, I'm going to destroy my painting. Because I'm pretty pleased with how I've painted the waves and the depth of the sea. It's not done yet. So I've stopped painting because I'm afraid of destroying it. There's my fear. There's my perfectionism. So I think we all have these moments, and we need to learn to work with them and to forgive ourselves when we perhaps produce something that's less than exceptional. And that's okay too. Finally, I want to read something to you that I wrote about how I view perfectionism. Perfectionism is the enemy of innovation and creativity. Playing with a new perspective can help us break free and discover a new world. Let's do that. Take good care. Thrive. My name is Holm-DiDio, and I'm your leadership and executive coach.